Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are on our Mastering the Science of Getting Rich, and we are on part 4, which is Principle 3, Attitude of Gratitude. This is my absolute favorite chapter of Science of Getting Rich. I love it. It's chapter 7.
Mine. Yes, yes.
And thank you, Nicholas, for
Okay.
jumping on the webinar.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, Nicholas. We really appreciate you joining us, especially on Zoom. And everybody that sees this on Facebook later, sorry, we could not post this on Facebook, or we couldn't go live on Facebook because the internet is sketchy or something's going on. Anyway, we couldn't connect to the live. So that's what's going on. So sorry about that. Who knows the definition of gratitude? I love this chapter, as Tina said she does too. So definition of gratitude is the quality of being thankful, the readiness of showing appreciation, and returning kindness.
That is awesome.
I love this. Absolutely love this.
Plain and simple.
It just amazes me how many people. I'm sorry?
Go ahead. I just said it's plain and simple and to the point. I love that.
Absolutely. There is so many people in this world that live lives that live their lives, and they're kept in poverty because of the lack of gratitude for what they have.
Yeah, I think most
people feel that they live an okay life, but because of what we're going to learn in this chapter, we'll explain why they're kept in poverty.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love this. 99% of the world and 97%, if we just talk about the United States, 97% of the United States are kept in poverty because of their lack of gratitude. And gratitude is so, so, so important. I hope everybody understands how important gratitude is.
Well, if they don't, they will, right? They will understand after this video.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, Amanda. You can come on screen if you want to. Hi. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you. We're talking about gratitude today. We weren't able to go live, so here we are. We need to be grateful. First thing in the morning, if we grab our gratitude journal and write down a few things that we're grateful for, it will change our whole attitude. Yes, I think we all have those. Thank you, Melody.
If you don't have one, you got to get one.
Yes, awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely. These journals, they're really important because on one side, you write down what your gratitude, what you're grateful for now, and on the other side, what your future holds for you that you will be grateful for. So I love these.
Yeah.
So did you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I can do that. So as you were saying, we need to be grateful and write it down. We write it down in the journal. And when, Debbie talked about on one side, it's got what you're grateful for the future, but you want to think of it as in terms of that you already have it. That's an important piece too. A lot of people wonder what they have to be grateful for. We all have a story. We all have a past, right? But it is really, really important to know that we shouldn't get stuck there. We don't want to get stuck in the past. Just like Robert says all the time, we don't drive looking in the rearview mirror all the time. So you want to know, yes, things happen. Oh, accept it, move on. Don't get stuck in the past. That's where you'll end up having a problem. So we have to have somebody, there's got to be somebody out there that had the same beliefs and thoughts that we have now that we're struggling with, and they can help us to break that, to break those thoughts and to break those beliefs and, you know, to help get us back on track if we're struggling. So just keep that in mind. And I know sometimes it's really, really hard to be grateful, especially when things are not going well. I
Yes.
know about a little over a year ago, I was having a really tough time trying to be grateful. I felt like, you know, you become the victim, like you're like, oh, why is this happening to me? Instead of like realizing that we need to be grateful. Being grateful will get you out of that. It'll get you out of that mindset, you know. So even if things are not going well, you can just find the smallest things. Like, I'm grateful to be sitting in this chair right now, you know.
Right.
Any
I'm
little
grateful my
thing.
heart is still beating.
Yes.
It's the little things that we need to be grateful for. You know, we have to build on those little things before we can be grateful for the big things that happen in our lives.
Exactly.
People that are in our lives. It's not just the things that we have, the things that we get, the things that we gather, but the people that we have in our lives. We have to be grateful for those people.
Yeah, definitely.
I love this chapter.
Go ahead. You can go now then.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
that's okay.
I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to throw that in.
We work good as a team, so we're good.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Our millionaire mentor, let's see. Our millionaire mentor, based on these principles, okay, there are millions, or there are thousands at least, of people that have become, sorry, I couldn't read my notes, that have become mentors and multimillionaires based off the principles in this book. And alone, this chapter is so, so important. I have notes hanging out here. This chapter is so important. If somebody doesn't get the whole book, just this principle of gratitude will make a huge, yes, Amanda, there it is. Yes, absolutely. This chapter will make such a difference in your life. Just being grateful and showing gratitude and showing kindness to other people. It's not always easy to show that gratitude. We do, as Robert talks about, you know, when we're teenagers, we deal with parents, we become ungrateful for things that we have. And, you know, it's get off my back. What are you bugging me about that for? Parents are like, no, you can't do that. So over time, being told this, we become ungrateful for things. And we have to get back to the gratitude. And it's not always easy, but we have to get there. So Robert says if he can do it with everything that he went through with his life through his childhood, if he can do it, we can do it. And he's living proof that we can do it.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, it's not easy, or everyone would be doing it. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yes.
It's not rocket science, right?
Right.
It's simple, but it takes work. It really does take work.
Simple changes that we make daily, and to fulfill those changes and not skip them, not skip any part of it. That's where the morning ritual for me has come in. It's so important for me to do. There's been days when I thought, well, I'm too busy this morning. I have to do this other thing and I have to do this thing. No, I've started getting up earlier so I can get that done before I start my day. It's just that important.
Yeah.
I love the morning ritual now.
I find myself doing it multiple times. Sometimes I do it in the morning, and sometimes I do it at night, and sometimes I even do it throughout the day. So, you know, the more that I do it, the more it helps me. So
that's a good idea too. I found that if I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up, I get up, I make a glass of tea, to get that caffeine going, and sit down and start reading and doing my morning ritual, it just sets the tone for my whole day.
That's awesome.
And I decide that I'm going to have a good day, and nobody else, none of my surroundings, no one else out in the world is going to determine what my day is going to be. I'm going to have a good day. So I get a smile on my face and a song in my heart, and off I go about my day.
I love it.
It's hard to stay that way sometimes, but I'm learning. I'm working on that.
Yay, I love it. Yeah, so Robert in the video, he talks about how his mentor told him, write down everyone that I don't really like this kind of terminology, but I don't like negative words, so I'm just going to say it and get it out. They wanted him to write down everyone that he resented, everyone who he hated, everyone who hurt him in the past, everyone who has done him wrong. And he basically said, the worst of the worst things that were done, write that down. And then they went outside and they ended up burning those pieces of paper. And then they had the group come back in. It was an activity that they had done at a training he was at. And they had the people write down how grateful they are for what that person did to them, because it turned them into the person they are today.
Yes.
And once you can get to that place and you can be thankful for that, that's when the forgiveness truly comes in, right? And it doesn't have to be done in person, face to face with them. It's just going through that motion and going through the process. You can let it go at that point, and that is huge. That's huge.
Right. And if you have a husband or wife that can play the part of that person that hurt you, that will step into that role and apologize to you and ask for your forgiveness, it's earth-shattering. It can change everything in your life. It can change how you feel about that person. And we have to, something that I've learned over time, forgiveness is not for the person that we resent, because they did what they did to us and they went on with their life, probably never thinking about it again.
Yeah.
But we carry that with us, and we drudge it up, we dig it up every now and then just to mull it over and think about it and have all these emotions attached to it.
Yeah.
Over and over in our lives. And by having somebody there with us that can pretend to be that person, we can release that feeling, that guilt, that hatred, that all those negative feelings that we have for that person. We can release it into the universe and let go of it so it never hurts us again.
Yeah.
I've done that. I had to do that because of things that I've had happen to me. And it's the most freeing thing that you can possibly do, is to forgive. It's amazing what forgiveness does.
I love it.
So this exercise is so important. If it doesn't matter what you've had done to you, Robert says, write it down. Write down the person's name. As Tina said, write down the person's name and what they did. You don't have to go into any details. Write down just what they did to you and release it, burn it, let it go, forgive them. The morning ritual, during the morning ritual, one of the meditations that I do, I'm sure you probably do too, is the 6-phase meditation with the binary beats.
Yes.
And that goes through that process. That's one of the 6 phases of the meditation. And it is so helpful. You imagine seeing this person in front of you asking for forgiveness for what they did. And it is so, so powerful. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that 6 phase meditation because it hits on everything that you really should be focusing on every day. Like the
Yes.
connection, the gratitude, the forgiveness, even the
Yes.
visualization and all of that. I love it. It's powerful. Very powerful.
It is very, very powerful. I can't stress how powerful it is. Robert says, if we want to be awesome, if we want to be happy, if we want to be fulfilled, and if we want to attract like-minded people to us, we have to be grateful. And on the other side of that coin, if we're not grateful and we take everything for granted and we have that ugliness in our heart, we attract that to us also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary. That's very scary because I lived there for a long, long time.
Yeah, we attract who we are.
We attract who we are. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So it amazes me how that happens, but it does. It's the vibration that we're vibrating at. I want to be awesome. I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. And I attract like-minded people.
I love it.
Yes, I do too. We attract who we are. There's only 2 ways that we can live our life. One is as if everything that we see, everything that we touch, everything in our world is a miracle. Now my internet is unstable. Did I freeze up?
No, I could hear you. Yep.
I just got the thing that across my screen that said that my internet's unstable. Like I said, there's 2 ways to live our life. One is as if everything is a miracle, and the other is as if nothing is a miracle, and we take everything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good place to be.
Yeah, that's for sure. You want to definitely be in the right way of living the life to make sure everything that you see and have and do is a miracle. Be grateful. And like I said earlier, like it is really hard to be grateful when something is going wrong. So how do you really take something that is awful and be grateful for it? It really does take a lot of work, and most people will never let it go, and they'll actually they'll start doing things they probably wouldn't have done if this awful thing didn't happen. But other people will take that and great things will come out of it. Like in the video, Robert talked about John Walsh. You know more about that story than I do. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I can remember, I'm old enough. I can remember when this happened, and it was so frightening. I wasn't very old. It was 1982 when Adam was kidnapped. And I believe it was. Yeah, 1982, Adam was kidnapped. He and his mother were shopping in a Sears store. And he wanted to go look at something, and she turned loose of his hand. And when she turned back, he was gone. I saw the movie too. There was a movie about it. And they looked for him. She couldn't get any cooperation to find him. They just thought he wandered off. So it was just a really, really big deal because his body was never found. Several years later, his head was found in a canal. But his body, even to this day, has never been found. Adam Walsh took this event, what happened to his son, and he started the series of America's Most Wanted to help bring people to justice, which was so powerful. In 1982, after let what am I trying to say? He petitioned, that's a hard word for me. He petitioned the court system, the lawmakers, for the Adam law. And when you're in a store or in a mall, when you hear, I hear it at Walmart sometimes, code Adam, that's who they're referring back to as Adam Walsh. He was 6 years old when he was taken. And it wasn't signed into law until 2006. Can you imagine that? 24 years. And Adam Walsh never gave up on it. And it took 24 years for it to actually become a law. And now it is called the Amber Alert. So when we see on the signs, or we hear on the radio over the freeway that there's an Amber Alert for this child that's missing, that's because of the work that Adam Walsh did starting in 1982 when his son turned up missing, was taken. Yeah. And Adam is also responsible for the sex offenders registry across the nation.
Wow.
And let's see, I think that's about all I have on that. But I can remember that when that happened, that was the scariest thing. I wasn't very old, but I can remember it. And it was like, oh my gosh. And that was here in California too.
Yeah.
So that was, I believe that was down south. So it wasn't too far from us where we lived at the time. But it was really scary.
But that's a great example to show like how people kind of like deal with things. You either don't want to admit it or, you know, accept it, and you just go on this other path of bad things, or you just take that and you make something good out of it. You know,
right.
like for example, tonight we are giving away 2 scholarships in the memory of my brother because, you know, we lost him. He was only 45 years old, and we want him, you know, we want to do this in memory of him. So we're going to be giving away 2 scholarships tonight. So, you know, it's just things like that. Like if you can take that and use it and do something good with it, that really, really will be helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, what does Robert say? Or, Jim Rohn said, we die twice, when we're actually buried and when people stop talking about us.
That's true.
So I admire you for keeping your brother alive in your heart and in the hearts of others, and being able to give in his name to help other people. I admire you guys for that. That's wonderful.
We have a plan to keep doing it every year, so we'll see how that goes.
That's wonderful. Well, let me know when you start collecting for that, because I want to donate, okay?
Oh, thank you. Our second annual bike run will be, because my brother was a big Harley enthusiast, and he was always on his motorcycle, which we actually have now. But yeah, so he was big into riding. So we decided to do it as a bike run to raise money to be able to give the scholarships. So we'll be doing that again in September. So
okay, wonderful.
Hopefully there's a good turnout. But yeah, so, you know, if you're in that sense where you don't think everything's a miracle, please read The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino, because that'll totally change your view on that. You know, if we can learn to fall back in love with ourselves just by being grateful for the little things, that'll help a lot.
It does. And there's the chapter in there that I read every morning. I love that. The God Memorandum. I think it's chapter 9, I want to say.
Yep, chapter 9.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You can just do a web search for Og Mandino or The Greatest Miracle in the World, and that'll come up. It's wonderful. So,
I haven't found the book in PDF format, but we do have the God Memorandum in PDF format, so I'll post that under the units. So if anybody needs it, they can just get it there in the units section.
Yeah. Gratitude. I love this. Gratitude connects you with power. I love that. It helps us like we said, bring things that we want to us.
Yeah.
Okay. You will not get any more until you are grateful for what you already have.
This is true. Very, very true.
We can't advance any further, any higher up the stair steps until we're grateful for what we have. And that's where the journals come in.
Yes.
Keeping track of it. That way we can look back. When we start feeling like we're not moving forward, we can look back a couple of pages and see where we were a few days before and what we were grateful for then and how we've advanced.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and gratitude makes us imaginative. It makes us creative, and it makes us resourceful. So it's it's a very powerful thing to use. And if you look at the majority of the happy people and you think, well, why are they so happy? Well, it's because they have gratitude. They use gratitude and they're grateful for everything. That's where it really truly comes. Like if you look at a small child, like when we were children, and how we were just in awe of everything around us. And like every little thing, like if you see a dog or even a butterfly or whatever it is, it's because we're appreciating that. Because I don't know, I think when, like you said before, when we get to a certain point, we start to kind of take those things for granted.
Right.
And when we take the things for granted, we start to lose them. And I want to say, I know firsthand, this is happened to me. I lost everything. And when I look back at it now, it really was because I wasn't being grateful for what I had anymore. I was in a place where, I was just working myself to death, and I didn't love myself anymore. I didn't, everything was just aggravating me. And I know now, because I was in that ungrateful mindset, I lost everything. And if I had known, I could have corrected my mindset back then, but now we start over and we do better this time around, right?
Absolutely. And you wouldn't be the person you are today had you not gone through that. And another thing that the Bible says, nothing will be put on us that we are not strong enough to withstand. So that's really powerful too. So we have to remember that too. Everything that, gosh, I'm sorry, we just have to be grateful.
Yes.
When we're not grateful, we lose things. Like you lost everything. Almost everything. You kept your lives, you kept your animals, and you kept your family. So that's what you need to be grateful for. You were able to move on and start a new life with everyone that you loved. Words we say that change our hearts and our spirits. Words can change our hearts. Words can change our minds. Words can change our mindsets. Words can change what we believe. And it's amazing. We have the power of words that has changed my life completely.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. We have that in PDF, and we can post that also.
Yes, that's from our great Melody. Melody wrote that, so I love that.
Yes, so
I do that every day. I just heard somebody the other day say try, and I'm like, not try. That's not gonna work.
You either try or you do. You don't. You either do or you don't do. You don't try.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to change anything, if you want to change anything in your life, just be thankful. Go through the I am statements. Go through the 6-phase meditation. Robert says we need to reprogram garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
If you're putting garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. So we just need to reprogram that.
I did that for years. You put good things in, you get good things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He who has no feeling of gratitude cannot long retain a living faith.
Yeah, that comes right out of the chapter.
Yes.
That is right at the end of this chapter. Yeah.
I love that. If we don't have gratitude, we can't retain faith. And I put something down about that. To have faith, we have to have gratitude. And without living in gratitude, we can't be rich. Yeah. So that's how important gratitude is. We have to have gratitude. We need to question everything that we believe. All of our beliefs in our mind, all of our beliefs make our mindset. So that's what we have to question. And the opposite of gratitude is living without hope. The way we make a difference is starting with ourselves. Yeah. We have to start with ourselves. We can't change anybody else. We're all responsible for ourselves. So everybody has to change themselves. We can't change them.
Right.
We have to learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made, the things that we've done, the things that we say. I say things all the time, and I hear Dino talking to me like Robert talks about. And instead of dwelling on that voice, yes, I did make that mistake. Oh my God, what are people going to think? Why did that come out of my mouth? Now I say, I hear you. Thank you. And I go on, and it doesn't come up again. And it blows my mind that it actually takes place. The voice goes away.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of work. Like a lot of people might think that everything is happening to them.
Yes.
But it's important to understand that things happen for you.
Yes.
Not to you. So that's important to remember too.
And that goes back to attraction. What we attract to us is because of who we are inside. So we can't blame other people for what happens to us because that's who we are.
Yeah.
So
definitely. So I think that's about it for this chapter. Like I said, this is my favorite chapter of the whole book. I'm not only, but I think a lot of it has to do with because this concept, this gratitude, right? The law of gratitude, this is what helped me a lot to get out of the situation that I was in. So I know I had created, I found the book, we know Rhonda Byrne wrote The Secret. That's where our gratitude journal came from. Dropped my phone, that's okay. But she also wrote the book, The Magic. And what it is it's a 28-day gratitude challenge. And I know that some of you might be in there, but that really helped me when I started going through that and doing the daily activities that she gives you just to be grateful. Like she'll guide you through it for 28 days and it really is powerful. It really, really made a difference.
Okay, I'm writing that down. I'm going to get this book out. Get that book after.
Oh, I'll post it in the units. I have it in PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
And I can post the link to my the 28-day gratitude challenge group because I have videos in there. If you guys want that, I can post that in there too.
Okay.
I think I got through day 17, but this will be a good time for me to maybe recreate that.
Yeah, there you go.
And do it again because it really does wonders. So. All right, well, I think that is it for now, and we will see you on Tuesday, and I hope every single one of you has a great weekend, And thank you very much for joining, and thank you for watching the replay. And again, sorry we couldn't stream. I'm not home, and the internet connection wouldn't let me stream to Facebook today, but we will post this replay. I'll post it as soon as it uploads.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Us, Amanda, Nicholas. Thank you for everybody that watches the replay. You guys all have a wonderful day, a great weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Hopefully,
Thank you.
Streaming live, and 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Thanks, lady.
Thank you.
Nicholas, good to see you.
Good
Bye.
to see you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Nicholas. Have a wonderful day.